As you may well know, Betway are entering their final season with West Ham being their main shirt sponsor. The reason behind this, you probably know all about it. It's kind of been widely reported now for quite a while. Is that there's been rule changes in the between the FA, Premier League, etc., where they're not now allowing betting companies to be the sort of main shirt sponsors for football clubs. I mean, I'm not really sure on what impact it's going to have. If it has a positive one, then great, but I don't know. But anyway, that's the rules, and it's basically meant that West Ham can't renew the contract with Betway to be our main shirt sponsor. So, of course, next season is the last season with Betway, and we will then be changing our main shirt sponsor. I don't know who it's going to be yet. I don't know who's going to be there. But now there is a bit of a change that we have seen in regards to our sleeve sponsor, as we've talked about previously. It's not going to be JD Sports anymore. That's gone. I think it's QuickBooks from what we understand it, from what I've seen, but I don't know for certain. But I think it's going to be QuickBooks, which I don't like the colour of it because it's green, but there we go. Anyway, again, I talked about corporate greed and stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to bang on about that. Let's talk about Betway, because Betway aren't actually leaving the party. From what we understand it, Betway now are vying to be our sleeve sponsor for the season after the new one coming up, i.e. they're going to replace QuickBooks. That's what they're planning to do. Now, there was a recent survey that sort of came out this week in regards to how much sponsorship money clubs should be making. It's felt that the sleeve sponsor market is actually going to skyrocket because of these law changes. So betting firms like Betway now are going to want their name on the sleeve and are going to be paying big money to get there. So West Ham actually could be in a pretty strong position here. There's also another really bit of interesting news regarding Betway and West Ham. Now, we talked about this previously. West Ham are really keen to get the lease of the stadium. That's what they want to do. They want to get the lease of the stadium, and there are talks ongoing. This has been going on for a while, but I think the plan is West Ham really want to get it and basically own the stadium outright. I think they want to get it handed to them. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but West Ham are really trying to do that. Now, what it will also mean is that West Ham will then have to have the full control over the stadium naming rights and can take the money and that will generate. And this is where Betway are stepping in. So apparently that the talks are centering around with Betway that if West Ham do take on the stadium at some time soon, which hopefully could be within the next year, we don't know for certain, but something could happen. Then Betway could be well within the fight to be getting the naming rights for the stadium. So could be looking at a package. I say we'll call it the Betway Stadium, and we'll have the Betway on the side. So this could be really big for West Ham in terms of what we bring in. I know that we are not mixing it yet with the top clubs in terms of what they bring in terms of sponsorships, etc. But we're not miles off. We're pretty much just outside of it. So there's a chance here that this could play into our favour. I'm talking about here the sleeve sponsor as well, because as I've just said, I think there's going to be clubs really vying for that now. The fact that obviously the front of the shirts are no longer available to them. So it's an interesting one, and it's quite a big development, I think. I think that the stadium talks are one that we now need to sort of keep an eye on. Of course, the summer's going to be dominated really with transfer news, and I think that's rightly so. That's going to be West Ham's main focus at the moment. But we do know in the background, talks are going on at the moment. And that's since as well, obviously with the election coming up as well. I think that the government want the stadium. They want to get rid of it. It's becoming a nightmare for them. They're making no money on it. The way it was designed was a nightmare. We all know the issues. I don't know if you saw the Foo Fighters, actually. They were playing in the week there. I was supposed to go to it last year, but it got cancelled, or a year before, which unfortunately was really annoying. So we couldn't make it this year. So but I'll tell you what, watching the updates on it from the sort of Foo Fighters websites and people commenting on it, etc., was the security at the stadium was a nightmare. People had a nightmare getting in and out. The queuing system was a nightmare. Do you know what? It's just so badly run. It really is. It's just something that you just feel like, if West Ham got hold of that, we could make something of it. I think it's just badly managed all round. Lingana, of course, of the LDC has left the role. I think the whole thing's a bit of a mess. So I'm really hoping West Ham can get something arranged there and take that stadium off their hands. And as I say, then it could well feed into the fact that West Ham could then be lined up with really big sponsorship from Betway. Now, this has come from Sean Whetstone, by the way, on West Ham Football, which is on X or Twitter. Everyone calls it Twitter. Who calls it X? You know what I mean? Yeah, so you can go and check it out. He explains a bit more detail on there, but basically, yeah, as I say, to summarise, talks are now underway with the stadium, and in sort of in the background of that, West Ham having talks now with Betway. So Betway, although are no longer going to be our main sponsor after the season, are certainly not going to be sort of disconnected at all from the club.